What's going on, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Man Up Real Talk podcast. I am your host, Mr. Mike Wiley, saying greetings and salutations to all of you, our faithful followers and listeners. Look, y'all know we appreciate every like, every share, every click, every download, whatever it is that you do to support this podcast. We don't take it lightly, and we appreciate y'all because, if it had not been for you, it wouldn't be no us. So we thank you. Now, for all of you all that's joining for the first time, I say welcome. And for those that's coming back for a second dip, another helping, we say welcome back because your boys is back on the air with the Man Up Real Talk podcast, the podcast for the peoples. It's a sophisticated ignorance, people. That's what this is. And we
that's what you're gonna call it, Mike.
Yes, sophisticated ignorance. This is a sophisticated ignorance podcast.
Yeah, all right. If you say so.
That's exactly what this is. Listen, we have accepted the fact that we are heathens, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But we are Christian heathens.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all like, what? It's all right. You'll get it later. Listen, as you can see, I'm not alone because joining me as always is my right-hand man, my A1 since day one, Mr. Philip Hines, a.k.a. Mr. Classic, a.k.a. OG Triple OG is in the building. What's going on, man?
Wakanda forever. Hey, man, y'all still not going to Wakanda no more, Mike? Y'all was excited when that came out.
What are you talking about?
Black Panther, Mike. Black Panther.
I still like Black Panther. I mean, but when the main guy kind of dies.
Can I be honest with you, Mike?
Yeah.
I never seen the first Black Panther.
That's all right.
I never seen it all the way through, to be saying like that.
Yeah. Listen, I unlike you, I don't hold it against people when they haven't watched what people deem to be
what you mean
because it's folks like you that like it's certain things that black people have to do, otherwise you ain't black enough. We've had this discussion before, Phil.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah, what? Mike, you ain't never seen Paid in Full. No, I never seen Paid in Full. No. You ain't never seen Belly. No, never seen Belly. We taking your black card. I mean, it was like, I'm like, really? That's what we doing? Because I've never seen those movies. I've never watched. Look, I've never watched Scarface in its entirety. I've just seen bits and pieces of it. Whereas I basically know the movie, but I never actually.
Chi-Chi, go get the yayo. Chi-Chi, go get the yayo.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's okay if you've never seen it. I mean, it's a lot of people that's never seen it. I will not hold that against you. I just won't. At least not today.
You know what? You know what?
Because this conversation will come back up again, sir.
Oh, it's gonna come up a trillion times. You know
that. Believe me when I tell you, it's gonna come back.
Believe me, it's us.
It's gonna come back up again, man. What is going on this week? First of all, I want to say happy Friday to everybody. I hope you all doing well. Listen, it got kind of warm, kind of quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you. Let me drink some water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I start putting the bottled waters in the freezer. Mike, can I ask you a question? To be honest with me,
nope.
Because I had somebody say this to me.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think that I'm changing because I haven't drank tap water in like almost 15 years?
Okay.
Do you see a problem with that? Did I choose only drink bottled water?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, you didn't even let me finish my statement. I mean,
you agree with me. That's all I want you to do.
I didn't say that I agree with you. You asked me if I saw it as a problem. I don't see it as a problem. However, it's just like when you realize that what you're drinking is the same stuff. I'm just saying.
I'm serious. I haven't drank water from the tap in a very long time. I've been hooked on bottled water.
You know what this is right here? This is 100% Lake Michigan with ice.
That's a big mug. Don't tell me. T-Move.
Actually, no, this was a Father's Day gift some years ago.
That's a big mug.
This is I don't know if you can see the name of it. It's called a Bubba Keg.
I see it.
Yeah. And I had one of these when I worked at Comcast some years ago, and I could never find them. And I was like, dang. And I think Jasmine got me this for Father's Day one year. And yeah, man, it holds about 54 ounces, I think, or something like that. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And it comes in mighty handy with with the weather in a way. Lord Jesus, let me turn my phone down.
Yes,
with the weather and everything that's with it being warm and stuff like that. But listen.
Hey Jackie baby.
Oh, Jackie and chat. Hey Jackie, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And I see people viewing, but ain't nobody commenting. It'd be like that, man. Folks just be popping in just to see what we doing.
We're gonna watch from the clouds. Enjoy the show.
Ain't that something? Just let's see what Mike and Phil doing. I ain't gonna comment.
Watch from the clouds. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show from the clouds.
I don't want them to know I'm here, but I'm definitely watching.
We know you watching. Always feel like somebody's watching me. So y'all gonna enjoy us from the clouds. Thank you for the views. That's the only thing that matters. The views.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Well, the views don't matter. The people matter.
The people matter. But if you're gonna watch from the clouds, I take that too.
Yeah, I take it too. It's a lot of people that watch and don't say nothing.
I know.
And don't say nothing. They don't comment. I was
they watch the whole pod too. Some people watch the whole pod, like all the way through.
The whole thing, man. I was like, listen,
I appreciate it.
I don't even care. I mean, of course, you want the engagement, but I mean, if you just hanging out and you just want to watch, maybe you just
hey, Sister Sibby.
You just think that type.
Sean, what's good, my brother?
I don't see the comments coming up in my system. Hold on a second. Make sure and get something turned off here. Oh, okay, there we go. Sean, hey, what's going on, brother Sean? Appreciate you. Sister Regina, hey, what's going on? And we talked to Jackie and whoever else is viewing, we appreciate you. But yeah, man, look, the 29th. Is it the 29th?
29th.
The 29th of June.
Yes.
We are hosting a prayer breakfast, and we are doing a live podcast.
Yes.
That means that we will be doing what we're doing now with a live audience. So it's going to be really interesting. Y'all can ask y'all questions right there on the spot. We're going to have a couple of guests. We're going to have a guest panel on that afternoon. We're going to have I'm trying to get a musical guest for that as well. We're really trying to do it up. And so it's going to be a live version of the podcast. And that's going to be on the 29th of June. We'll definitely get y'all some more details and put the flyers and stuff out while all that stuff gets ready.
And I promise y'all, we're gonna try our best to behave.
Is it for men only? Absolutely not.
No. It
is of course geared towards men, but the ladies are always welcome.
Because it's gonna be a breakfast earlier that day.
Yeah.
And so then we're gonna do our pod after the breakfast.
It's all you all ladies are always welcome.
Yeah.
Sean, you know what we talking about tonight? I'm gonna tell you what we talking about tonight. We talking about vortices and wave conjugers or wave conjugation. And we're going to be talking about the flower of life and how there's no gravity.
Hey, Sean,
and we're going to talk about how 1 × 1 = 2.
Sean, mine. I remember when I was in my mama's room, mine. I remember when I was born, mine. Sean, mine. Listen, Sean, mine. That's what we're gonna be talking about tonight, Sean. Mine.
I wasn't even going that early, but see, he
we're gonna be talking about that tonight, Sean. Mine.
I wasn't even going that early.
Hey man, we missed last Friday, man.
Ooh, Lord,
we're gonna try our best to behave, Lonnie.
Yeah. Hey, sis, what's going on? Appreciate you for popping in. Look, listen, I'm just
gonna try our best to behave, man. Eric, what's good, bro?
Regina said, "What's that?"
Hey, Sister Sibby, mine.
Hold on. You don't know what wave conjugations is, man.
Sister Sibby, mine. You should know what that mean, man.
You don't know what a wave conjugation is.
You know, because I just feel just like the wave conjugation is mine. Yeah. Some folks just too deep, man. I'm just gonna be real with you, man. I'm all for folks having knowledge, man, but some folks, man, they just take it too far sometimes.
Terrance, listen, I just want Terrance Howard I just want him to just read some names off like Iron Man, Batman, the Mailman.
Yeah, man. We're gonna make it happen, man.
You know what my favorite state is? Maine.
Hey, and I think he got some Chicago ties too, Mike. I think he do. I think his father's somebody. He got Chicago ties, man. But that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight, man. Y'all just stick on the way for it.
I'm just saying, we talking about all of that stuff, man.
We're gonna be talking about it all tonight, now, man.
Yeah. Oh, look, real quick, if y'all have not tuned in, please go check out the First Ladies of the Crypto Cartel. It is a show that I have had the privilege of actually, I'm still working on it because we still putting out episodes and I'm one of the editors on the show. Listen, I don't know what's coming out of this thing. All I know is that we have actually been approached by a PR firm and they want to represent us and start kind of shopping the show in other markets, like in the Atlanta market and the Dallas market, some of these bigger, and they also trying to get us on some of the larger streaming platforms. This firm worked with Tyler Perry. And so they approached the lady who created the show and was like, they really like what we're doing and they see great potential and they believe that, they can get us picked up by some legitimate networks. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't know what's coming out of this thing. The Lord has put me in contact with this lady and we've been working on this thing and who knows what's going to come out of it. I'm just saying when your boy pop, I'm still gonna recognize everybody that's been here from the jump. That's all I'm saying. But if you haven't seen the show, please go check it out. It's a cool little show, and it's our first outing. You know what I'm saying? So but it's definitely going to get better as we go on. And the hope is that we do get picked up and some more seasons get ordered, and it'll be good. Listen, if y'all can watch that stuff that Tyler Perry put out, y'all can definitely watch.
Did you just say the man that somebody trying to link y'all up with Tyler? You got to relax on that for a hot second, Mike. You trying to go somewhere. You got to chill. You go take a break from that for like 5 seconds. There you go. Do you, bro?
I'm just saying.
I get it. But
if y'all can watch Tyler Perry, y'all can check this show out.
This ninja here, man. I swear to God. I love him, though. I love you, my brother-in-law. There's something wrong with him.
All right, so let's talk Terrance Howard, man.
Come on, let's get to it, man.
All right. So I have to ask, who actually saw him on the Joe Rogan's podcast? Have any of you guys actually seen him on the podcast? Because I want to know first before we kind of give our opinions of it. I want to know what you guys thought about it. Did you think anything about it? Did you were you feeling what he was saying? Did you think he was on some BS? Did you think he was on some some mad scientist genius type stuff? Or did you think he was just, flexing his degree and yapping? I don't know. What did you guys, for those who saw it, what did you think? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't know. What I don't want to do is write him off.
No,
because what we as society tend to do is that when people who are not normally associated with a certain field or a certain profession, when they all of a sudden come out the woodwork with these ideas and theories, it's like, wait a minute, aren't you an actor? Or aren't you a truck driver? Or whatever the case may be. And it's like, where's all of this stuff coming from, Terrence? Now, on the flip side of that coin, we got to be critical thinkers, people. We have to be. Because what we can't do is sit up there and just accept what people say right off the bat. What do we always say on the show, Phil? What do we always say? Don't be what? Exactly.
Don't be influenced.
Don't be influenced, but be informed.
Yeah.
So, in other words,
I had
don't
to think about it. I'm sorry, Mike.
It's all right. You only been doing it for 7 years, so it's so what we do is we always encourage you guys to not just take what's being said at face, even the stuff that we say.
Yeah,
we don't want you to take what we say at face value.
Nope.
Go look it up. Go research it.
You really not supposed to do that with nobody, though, Mike, to be honest with you. You're supposed to go and do your own research so you can know.
Listen, I'ma tell you, even if your pastor say something, that's right, I said it. Even if your pastor say something, you don't just take his word for it. You go and research it for yourself. Bible says you need to study to show yourself approved. Not to show that he approved.
Yeah.
So it's all you always want to get the information for yourself. So again, I don't want to write Pat, listen, just wait a minute.
Yeah. Relax, Pat. We won't get to that, bro. Trust me. Relax. We got that covered. Relax.
I don't want to write him completely off. But I'm definitely not just taking. I'm not just drinking all the Kool-Aid.
No.
If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, he is a little strange, and he definitely loves watermelon.
Yeah, he loves the watermelon. He try to get him on the plane and everything.
Yeah,
Just stop, Mike. But you know what? Let me just say something. Let me just tell you.
Go ahead, sir.
I think that Terrance Howard have always been known to be a little eccentric. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he comes off as quirky to us, because that's how eccentric people are. And I do think that he's an intelligent brother. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that he's a little too deep for me. Pause. But I just think that I just don't remember being in my mama's womb. I don't remember. I mean, if maybe somebody else remember when they was born. I mean, I'm not going to say that it can't happen, but I didn't experience that.
Listen, man, Pat, look, let me tell you something. It ain't nothing like a nice cold glass of Lake Michigan.
Mike.
It's the best thing ever.
Stay focused.
He's exactly. And I was just about to say,
he's an intelligent brother.
You can absolutely tell that he definitely has there is some intelligence there, right? Because the stuff that he knows, I don't know if he just memorized it for the sake of presentation or if he just knows it right off the rip, because he said this is a passion of his. So this is something that
got a lot of patents out there.
This is something that he is passionate about, that he's been speaking about. So, I'm just saying, all I know is that when I watched him, I definitely got, it was giving Anton Jackson to me.
Mike, you gotta relax, Mike.
It was very much given Anton Jackson. Do you all remember Anton Jackson? He was the brother in jail on In Living Color.
The Philippian.
Listen. The whole time I was watching that podcast, that's the only thing that popped into my mind. Look. Okay. Let me do
this. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Knock it out, bro. Go ahead. It's yours.
Look. This is my.
Come on, get to it.
This is my. Stop laughing, Phil, because I gotta get the.
Do it. Take it off me and do it.
You gotta stop laughing because you keep
laughing. I'm going on mute. I'm going on mute.
No, don't go on mute. But I'm just saying, just keep it to a minute. Okay, all right. So look, this is my impersonation, my impression of Terrance Howard as Anton Jackson on the Joe Rogan thing. Okay. All right. See, first of all, we have to internalize the fluctuation of the matter, right, by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection. Now, if I may maintain the liquidity of my intestinal tract, when we look at the septiconian transmogrification of it all, we can then see the redundancy of the anthropomorphic version of the matrix of leadership. Now, I'd like to continue my quote unquote metamucilnics of because the issue of world domination only circumcise the but if you look at the incision of my fallopian cavity, you will see that it is totally and completely holistic, which is from the Latin word jalapeno. What are we talking about, Terrence? What are we talking about? That's what I got the whole time I was watching him.
But see, bro, that's what I'm saying.
I was like, what? I'm Googling everything this nigga. I'm like, what is he saying?
That's what I'm saying, man. He did sound like Anton. What that name I played? No, it was Damon Wayans.
That was Damon Wayans.
The guy that was in jail. with the kente cloth hat. Allow me to astringent my
right.
The
justification of said. So you have to understand the Jerry curl activation of it all. I'm sitting up here like I don't.
But see, that's what I'm saying, Mike. You know what I'm saying? He's an intelligent brother, but some people be on that, they vibration be so high that you might not be on that vibration, so you might not get me. It's some people in the world that heard that and they got it.
Now wait a minute, because speaking of vibrations, we also have to understand that every color, every every color has a frequency. Every frequency has a wave, and every wave has what's called an entropy. And what you may not realize is that Stevie Wonder can see. So it all ties in together. It all ties in.
We should be laughing like that, man, because that brother was trying. That brother was trying to make a. Like I said, man, he's a deep brother, man. He just
Yes, and a lot of people has heard of the flower of life before he mentioned it.
I've heard it.
Here's the thing. I swear, Cass, I don't. Yes, Stevie Wonder can see. He threw that in there, and a lot of people didn't even realize it.
No, they didn't catch it.
Here, the thing is that a lot of the stuff that he mentioned isn't new.
No, it's not.
A lot of these are old. Among the 9,000 patents that he said he filed.
Oh man, that brother got a lot of patents, man. And I just know how was those folks able to steal them away from him, though?
But you gotta understand. But see, okay,
because that brother got a lot of patents, man. So he say.
My limited knowledge of how patents work, right? Let's just say if toilet seats. Let's use toilet seats for instance, right? And you may want to create something that keeps the toilet seat warm in the wintertime because nobody likes to sit on a cold toilet seat. And you can file a patent that says, hey, I think, I believe that there should be I believe that there's a way that you can heat up a toilet seat so it'll stay warm in the wintertime. And this is how I believe that you can do it. Well, and then the way that you're doing it is that you're mentioning and then you're bringing in methodologies that already exist.
Yeah.
So you can file a patent, but it may not be approved because what you're trying to file may already be existing or already be patented by somebody else, right? So yes, you can file them, but it does not mean that they've been approved. Also, when you're filing a patent, there are some things that's involved with it. You have to pay fees. There are certain deadlines you have to meet. And if those things are not done, then your patent can be abandoned. And so he said, these are his words. He said that he filed a patent for AR and virtual reality. So augmented reality and virtual reality. He said he filed a patent for that, but it was abandoned. Well, here's the issue I have with that. A patent for augmented reality and virtual reality was filed, I forget by the guy's name, I can look it up, but it was filed back in 1968. If I'm not mistaken, Terrance Howard was born in 1969. So did you file this patent while you was in your mama's womb?
Hey, man, he remember being in there, so who knows?
Did she file the patent for you in your name?
Mama, could you please file this pilot for me, mine? Could you do that for me one time for me, mine? I'm about to come out again in another minute, mine.
He's up there. He's up, Mama, can you hear me, mine? Oh, I need you to file this patent for me, mine.
I did too, DS. I did.
Yeah, so a lot of that stuff is a lot of it when you file a patent. A lot of times, some people are filing patents based on things that already exist, and they may have an idea, but again, in order for it to be approved, it has to be something solely original, right? So that's that. And then he said he had 97 patents. He had 97 patents filed. He didn't say. Another thing is you have to look at the verbiage. He said he's filed 97 patents. But he didn't say that he had 97 patents approved. That's a difference. You can file as many patents as you want to, but if they're not approved, they don't mean nothing. And then he was like, and these companies have made money off of my patents. Trillions of dollars since 2010. They've made trillions of. So you mean to tell me that you had a patent? Because the thing is like if you have a patent for something and it's filed and it's been approved, and if somebody uses that technology or that methodology or whatever the case may be, and it's patented by you, they have to pay you.
Yes, sir.
They have to pay you. I'm telling you, I need to listen. I need to go to the dispensary that he be shopping from.
He's smoking that super czar. That's what he doing. He's smoking that super duper czar.
What
he said? Terrance Howard, Jesus and jumped.
Look, hey, Cass, he probably went to a Christian dispensary.
I came up with the idea for the dispensaries, man.
I had a couple of ideas for some Christian dispensaries, and I'm still working on the names. So I came down to two choices. One of the names is High and Lifted Up.
And the other one, Mike. Give it the other one.
And the other one is the Bud of Jesus. Look. And I'm gonna call the rolling papers testaments.
Hey man, this is why don't nobody want us, man. We gotta do better. This is a rolling paper testament.
Jesus. Right.
Right, smoking it too.
Yo, that's a good one. I like that one too.
Oh my God, man. We are so wrong. We are so wrong, man. This is why we don't get invited nowhere, Mike. We can't do right, man.
Nobody wants us around.
Oh my God.
So
we got to get it together, man. We got to do better. We got to do better. He said rolling papers. He's going to call them testaments.
We're going to call them testaments. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. One thing we do know is he smokes squares. So right. He smokes squares, but he can't come up with the formula
for that mind.
How you gonna figure out the vibrations for colors, but you can't figure out the vibration to make you stop smoking?
Oh my God, man.
It's another yes.
Another tree of life.
The trees of life. Oh snap! Oh man!
Oh, we was doing so good, man.
We was doing good, and then as always, it goes left.
We gotta do better, Mike. They ain't gonna want us nowhere, man. We gotta do better.
I be trying.
We gotta do better. We gotta do better.
Oh man! So you have that with the patents, and then and there was just other weird stuff that he was saying. So let's talk about the womb thing. Pause. Let's just kind of go there. So the first 20 minutes of this interview was wild. Like, I don't think Joe Rogan said 3 words for the first 20 minutes.
That brother was talking.
He just hit the ground running. One of the things that he said, because he asked Joe Rogan, he said, what was your earliest memory? And Joe was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't have it. He was like, what was your earliest? And he proceeded to tell Joe Rogan that his earliest memory was when he was inside of his mom's womb. And he said he remembered waking up and was like, oh, this is cool. This is nice. And he's like, and I remember looking at, I didn't know it was my hand at the time. And I called it my friend. And I was like, oh, hello, there's my friend. There's my friend. There's my friend. And I was like, what is he talking about? And he was talking about,
that's when the cap come in though, Mike. But in the process, you trying to be too deep. You start just trying to you start enhancing your conversation with things to make you sound like you're just on this other level.
Listen, there's my friend. There's my friend.
Mike, stop it.
You can't see me. There's my friend. He's right there. Hi. Hi. It's like, okay, so that's how you're gonna start this off. All right, let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Then he proceeded to talk about, he was like, yeah, I remember being inside of my mother's womb, and I remember, my friend, and I would see, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a, and I remember even the birthing process. I remember feeling compressed I remember and I remember being wrapped and all these things. And I remember the doctor slapping me and upside my head and it just all these various things. And I was sitting up there like,
stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Now, I don't want to. Here's the reason why I don't want to just dismiss that, right? Because that part I do. But he then started to talk about his son, and he was talking about how he used to put a flashlight to his wife's tummy and how he would react to it and stuff like that. And I didn't think that was strange because, doctors for years have said, listen, even when your baby is in the womb, it can respond to things, right? And so, because when Michael and them when Kelly was pregnant with Michael and them, we used to sit there and talk and sing and stuff like that. And you could feel like the baby seemed like it would kick and react and all of those things. We've all done that. You know what I'm saying? And he was somehow he used to put a flashlight up to his wife's tummy and all of this stuff. And I forget what else he did. But when his boy was born, he loved it. Was like, and he loves light. He loves light. He loves
because
light.
Of the flashlight.
Because of the flashlight. He absolutely loves. I said, nigga, I love light too.
Who don't?
Who don't? I don't like dark.
But see, that's what I'm saying, Mike. I'm not going to take none away from the man. But in the midst of him talking, Mike, he's still a weave hustler. Yeah, he is, man.
Hey,
yes.
Hey, man, it's hard out here for a physicist.
Whoop that. Whoop that. But like I said, in the process of him being so deep, you're gonna throw a little cap in it to put yourself on this level that you don't think that other folks on.
I think that's definitely part of it. I believe that a lot of the stuff that he was saying, he was really
okay. People, please, everybody that's in our chat right now, be honest. Do you remember being in your mother's womb, and do you remember being born? Honest, be honest, yes or no. I'm gonna put it in there right now.
My earliest memories was my sister, who is actually currently watching. This is my sister. Some of my earliest memories of her, torturing me when I was a child, and I remember those things. Oh, she gave me a hard time when I was a child. Oh, it was terrible, I tell you. But some of my earliest memories, though, were also of her, and we talk about this every now and again. I had a chalk. My mom got me like a chalkboard, like colored chalk and stuff, and all this other stuff for Christmas one year. And she would take the chalkboard in the bathroom, and she would set little chairs in there with me and my sister, and she would teach us how to spell. So she would write words on the board, and she would teach us how to spell certain words and how to spell our name and stuff like that. I remember that. Now, that was before school. Those are my earliest memories. I remember her throwing my favorite teddy bear out in the rain. Don't know why, unprovoked, but she did it. And, I remember that thing because that traumatized me for some years.
Wow. Teddy bear.
Yeah, man. It was one of my favorites. So those things. Those things I remember. I even remember my first day at school, but I don't remember being born.
Man, nobody remember. Don't nobody remember being born. Like I said, anybody in the chat, please, if you remember being born, could you please write in the chat the experience and what happened and
right, Kat,
what was your hand, your friend, and all that? I mean, just
hi.
Exactly, Cass. My 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
3 or
around
4.
that time, like I remember,
Mm-hmm.
I can remember something probably from that early.
But see, Mike, that's when you put a dollar on a dime. Because in the midst of you trying to talk and make yourself sound like you're so intelligent, you're gonna throw a little cap in it. And I'm sorry, I just believe that him remembering being in his mother birth stomach, and that was his friend. I just believe that was a little cap, man. That's just me. I do believe that he was lying when he said that.
Wait. Look. This me being compressed when I'm coming out. I remember feeling compressed and I remember
remember none of that, yo.
And I remember being wrapped and I remember Marvin Gaye playing in the background and I said, well, I'm like, what? I don't know. I just said all I remember is climbing stairs to the water slide. And again, I'm not totally dismissing it.
I can't even remember what happened at 3 p.m. Come on, man. We all up in age, man. He was born in 1969, so that make him about what, 55 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can remember being in your mom womb. Come on, man.
Listen, I mean,
somebody was lying. I just think that he was lying on that one.
I think that he was lying on that. And then so he goes on, he starts talking about this stuff. And then he really starts going into a lot of his theories, right? And he starts talking about mathematical equations. This is the one that really got me.
Here we go, Pat.
I don't okay. For those you all, and again, one thing we pride ourselves on this show is that there is no judgment.
None whatsoever.
Okay. If you honestly believe, or if you believe the perspective that he was coming from in regards to 1 × 1 = 2, please acknowledge it. Just say, I believe that. But what I would like is an explanation as to why. Because when he was explaining it, it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. None. But he said, as a system of multiplication, there is no way that 1 × 1 should equal 1. And he started going, and he was at Howard University, and he was telling these kids how the banks is stealing your money because they're telling you that 1 × 1 = 1. And he was like, and that's impossible. How can 1 × 1 = 1 if the whole purpose of multiplication is to make more? I get it. Maybe you don't like the verbiage. Maybe you don't like the explanation of multiplication when it comes to the number 1. But math is an exact science. You know what, Cass? Stop it. Now you just stop. Now I know I said no judgment, but I'm judging. He's talking about some 1 × 1 = 2. You got to get rid of 1. But here's the absolute crazy part. The crazy thing is that there are people that believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We might not get it, but that's a lot of people that gets it, right?
And I don't know if you all remember this, but some time ago, remember when Eddie Griffin was on his conspiracy theory thing? He even came up, he said, listen, 1 + 1 does not equal 2, but it equals 3.
And he sell out shows, and he don't even do comedy no more. His shows is straight conspiracy theories.
He said one
shows.
This man said 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah, he did.
Now, let's look at both of them real quick. Now, the way Eddie Griffin explained 1 + 1 = 3 is that he used people as an example. So let's just say me and Phil, right? So you have me, I'm 1, and then Phil would be 1, right? So that's 2 people. So when you add us together, you have me, that's 1, Phil plus 1. Now, each one of us occupy our own individual space. So I have a space, Phil has a space. Now, what happens is when you add 1 and 1 together, now they have a shared space. So you have my individual space, Phil's individual space, and the shared space that we now have, which means that you now have 3. WTF. These are the things, people. And people is like, yeah, I get that. And then he said another way you can look at it is that 1 plus 1 equals 3 because you have to count the plus sign. Well, if I'm doing that, I might as well count the equal sign too. Now it's 4.
Mike, relax.
Let me count the pencil that I just wrote this with. Now we got 5.
We ain't gonna do that.
Can't forget the paper. That's 6. I mean, where does it end?
We ain't gonna do that.
So that's Eddie Griffin. Now, the way Terrance Howard went about talking about how 1 plus 1, 1 times 1 equals 2 is just some off the wall, new math, philosophical type of thinking in terms of how numbers work when it comes to not even necessarily numbers, but just philosophically thinking how numbers should work. And so he's like, 1 times 1 should equal 2. Listen, math was not my best subject in school. It wasn't. However, as I grew older, I learned to love facts. I learned to love figures, and I learned to appreciate numbers.
You better.
Right? I appreciate
You're going to get robbed.
There is no possible... Shut up, Pat.
That makes sense. In that case, 8 plus 8 is 90. Cool.
There is no possible way. I don't care how you flip it, that 1 times 1 equals 2. Let me look for all my fellow big backs out there. Let me bring some food into the scenario, right?
Wait a minute, hold on. What did you just say? Say big backs.
Yes, for all my fellow big backs out there, let me bring food into the scenario. You have 2 baskets, and each of those baskets have 2 apples, right? So you have 2 apples 2 times. How many apples do you have? That would be
what you say? Hold on. What? Say it again. What say?
You have 2 baskets. In each of those baskets, you have 2 apples, right?
Oh.
So one basket has 2 apples. Another basket has 2 apples. So you have 2 apples 2 times. How many apples do you have?
That's 4.
That's 4 apples. Okay. So now let's take away one of those baskets. Now you have 1 basket with 2 apples. How many apples do you have?
2.
So 2 apples 1 time equals 2, correct? Let's take one of the apples out of the basket. You have 1 apple in 1 basket. 1 time. How many apples do you have?
All day long it's gonna be 1. I don't care what nobody say.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah. Most people that actually believes that stuff. I'm telling you, Mike, you'll be surprised. It's a lot of folks.
And
Eddie Griffin sells out tickets, and
I'm gonna tell you,
a conspiracy theory.
Those people failed in math because I guarantee you they couldn't figure out word problems. Because all it is just if you don't like saying 1 times 1, you can simply say 1 time, because that's all it's saying. Anything one, it's just saying that one thing once equals that thing. Exactly. That's all it's saying.
All day long.
Man, and this guy went into some stuff, and I was like, what is the... He also said he doesn't believe... Yeah, he doesn't believe in zeros. That's why you only get paid $5,000 for hustle and flow, sir.
That's what I'm saying, man. You that smart, man. Why aren't you signing that contract?
but the residual spectral field left over from the missing atom is still present in the multiverse.
Patrick, you worse than him, man. You worse than him.
Listen, that might be true. And in that case, then what we need to do is we need to be able to generate 88,000. We need to be able to generate 1,000 gigawatts so we can power up the flux capacitor in order for us to travel back to bring those baskets back into fruition.
Man, if y'all would get y'all back to the future, man. Listen, bro, like I said, man, some people, man, they just too deep for their own good, man. In the process of you being deep, you just start saying stuff, man, and you thinking that people don't get it because you think you're smarter than them, so they're not going to get it. But in the other hand, there's actually people in this world that's going to look at that interview and listen to what he's saying, going to say, you know what? I never thought that.
Oh, all day. Then what else?
That's where it go, bro. Real talk.
What else did he say that was interesting? Oh, he was talking about the solar system, and he made mention of how he said that all the planets came from the sun, and the way he described it, he said that the sun basically, for lack of better terms, it crapped out the planets. So every planet came from the sun. And his theory was based on the fact that it's showing that the planets are slowly moving away from the sun because the sun is losing mass. And as a result of the sun losing mass, the magnetic field around the sun, it's not as strong as it used to be. Yeah. So now the planets are slowly moving away at I think half an inch every so many years or something like that. Right. And so because of that, he believes that the planets spawned from the sun or from their star, whatever galaxy they may be in. And that's how all of the planets were formed. When you look at the asteroid belt, because there's an asteroid belt, I believe, that's between Earth and Mars. There's an asteroid belt. He said that used to be a planet. Because if you take the mass from all of the asteroids in that belt and put them together, it would be the mass of an actual planet. That's not true. When you take all of and NASA did this. When you take all the mass from the asteroid belt and put it together, it is the equivalent of a small moon, not a planet. But he said that there was another planet that was there that smashed into another planet, and that's why we have the asteroid belt there. He said there's no such thing as gravity, or not gravity like we know it. He said gravity don't work the way we think it does.
So basically, we just floating around here. We think we walking, but we really
no.
Floating.
He said gravity doesn't pull down. He said gravity doesn't pull down, but it pushes. So that's why we have gravity. But gravity doesn't pull like we think it does. It pushes down. I don't know. All I'm saying is that you see my mic right here? You see this? My mic is on a stand. Now, if gravity pushed down, wouldn't this be doing this? Now, again, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I'm just saying, some things that he said.
You ain't gotta be the smartest man to know when you hear some BS, Mike. Let's just be real.
It was a whole lot. Because I'm not well versed in the sciences, I really can't co-sign or reject much of what he said. However, there is a 0 and 1 times 1.
Thank you.
That's all I'm saying. And you can have all of your what my man said, Socrates, philosophies and hypotheses and all your theories, and they don't mean nothing to me when you can't explain basic math.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need math for a lot of the stuff that he's even trying to introduce. You have to have mathematical equations.
Now you know why he signed a contract with that 5,000.
Because he didn't understand.
One time one was two to him. Guess it really is hard out here for a pimp, huh?
He didn't understand zeros. It was supposed to be 5 million. He was like, "No, I don't want millions. I want thousands."
I just don't like to have a lot of zeros around me, man, because I really don't believe in zeros.
Yo.
Okay, then cool. We'll take one. Cut these zeros off. Give this 5,000.
I talked to that dude. I was like, I was sitting up there and I was talking to my sister actually yesterday. And I was like, when he was talking about the zeros, I don't know why I thought about this parody they did of R. Kelly on Saturday Night Live. When they was like, Robert, you sold millions of, he said, you sold millions of records. He said, no, not millions, thousands.
Man, leave R. Kelly alone, man. Leave R. Kelly. Leave my man's alone, man. Leave exactly. Young Rob alone.
And that's what it is, because he's coming from a philosophical angle. With his
and a lot of us not going to get it because, like I said, it's going to go over our head, but people that's into that type of stuff, they'll pick up on what he's saying. I'm not. I'm just not.
I don't mind philosophy, but philosophy is just that. Like, he told this story about this author, and he was like, we're cosmically blind. He was like, and he said, and we base all of our perceptions off of what we can see, which is his whole thing about being philosophical. He was like, we base everything off of what we see. And so he proceeded to tell this story about this guy who, it was an author and he was a poet. And he wrote a story about a man who was away from home for about 4 months. And he was like, and there was a mountain that when the man saw the mountain, he knew that he was close to home. So as he was traveling, he saw the mountain and he got really excited. He was like, I see the mountain. I see the mountain. So I know I'm close to home. Well, his other senses was like, his nose was like, well, wait a minute. I don't smell a mountain. And his ears was like, yeah, I don't hear the mountain. And his tongue was like, I don't taste the mountain. And his hands was like, well, I don't feel the mountain. So what happened is that the other senses got together and said, well, obviously the eyes are wrong. He said, and so he used that example as to say that we're fooled by what we see. And I'm sitting up here thinking, like, your senses was on some BS, son. You clearly can see the mountain is right there. But because you can't lick the mountain, that means it ain't. Listen, all I'm saying is, Phil.
Listen, man. Hey, no. Your brother on another plane, man. Listen, hey, somebody will get it.
You all have to understand, y'all, like for real. So just think about that for a minute. Let's just say if Phil was on mute, right? I can see Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I see him. He's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But because I can't hear him, because I can't physically touch him, because I can't taste them. Pause.
Minute, don't. Whoa! I was riding with you. Pause.
I know, but because I can't smell him, that does not mean he's not there. It's my eyes are not. I'm looking at the man,
and you got on glasses.
And I got on glasses. So, but he told that story as to say we're blind and we're fooled by the things that we see. Maybe in some cases, but what do your other senses can't verify everything. It's just like if I can't see, like if you couldn't see if you can't hear what you're eating, does that mean that what you're eating isn't there? Because your ears can't verify. Oh, I don't hear this chicken. What?
I don't hear it, so it's not chicken.
I don't hear this chicken, so my eyes is lying to me.
But Mike, let's keep it real, man. It's not just Terrence. Have you ever noticed that a lot of these celebrities think like that?
Wait a minute. She said, I'm confused.
Oh, yeah, he
Did
told
the
me
man get
I was like, did the man get home? No.
I don't think that was the moral of the story that he was trying to convey. But
Yeah.
my whole thing is, it's just like, you know what? Those of us that live in Chicago, when we come from out of town and we see that skyline, the first thing you say is, I'm home.
Yep.
I ain't got to hear the Sears Tower. I ain't got to taste it. I don't have to feel it. I don't have to smell it. When I see the Sears Tower, I know, yeah, I'm home.
That man said you got to use all of your senses.
All of your senses, nigga. If you can't taste this building, it ain't real. And I was like, I did not understand that. And I know he was using that story to try to say that cosmically we're blind. And then people started going into, well, your eyes only process so and such and such because your eyes really don't see. Right? Scientifically speaking, your eyes really don't see. They send a signal to your brain, and based off of the other senses that you have, your brain then comes up with a projection that says, oh, this is what he is looking at. Okay, if you want to go that route, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, bro, I'm looking right at the thing. It's right there.
I ain't got to smell or hear or taste that to see something.
It was just really weird. So, and it was just some other things that he was saying, like when he was talking about the periodic table. Well, again, I'm not a chemist, so I don't know why. From what I understand about the periodic table is set up the way it's set up because of each element that's on the periodic table is labeled according to the number of neutrons and protons that it contains. That's what I remember from school.
I don't know number H2O, water.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
I got the one for oxygen. I don't know nothing about no periodic table. I'm not even gonna try to act like I ain't gonna hold you on that one.
I can't remember them, but I do remember that little bit about why the periodic table and how it's set up, right? And then he goes into about this other periodic table that this guy did back in the 1920s or something, and how that periodic table was better because of how the elements were arranged. Well, it don't matter how it's arranged on a list, because it still is not accounting for the amount of protons and neutrons that the elements contain. Yeah. So it being whether it's on a spiral or on a flat table, the presentation doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one is easier to read than the other, and that's probably why they put it on a table instead of the spiral that was original that the guy had created. I don't know. But then he starts going into talking about how cobalt and chromium and all these other elements have the same tone of E. They have the same tone, the tone of E. It's 43.6 gigahertz. And I'm sitting up here like, huh? Are we talking about sound, or what are we talking about? And he just started going into, and then look, and it doubles. This one is this, and this is this. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he just rambled, and I was like, the whole time I'm sitting up there like, what are you talking about? Like, and it's like my thing is when people start talking like that, like, do you remember that movie with Denzel called Devil in the Blue Dress?
Yeah, that's what I love that movie.
What did he used to always say? All right, now look. He sees something. Now look, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he used to always say that.
Mm-hmm.
Explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old. He always says something like that. In other words, make it simple. So when you come with these philosophical ideas, you still got to be able to explain it to the common folk.
But see, some folks don't think that, Mike.
Man,
they don't think that. They don't think you should know. And if you don't know, then hey, that's on you.
Yeah, you know what Terrance Howard sounds like to me? Terrance Howard sounds like a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Mike, come on.
That's
Mike.
What Terrance. Terrance Howard sounds like. I said what I said.
Come on,
Terrance Howard sounds like a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Let's leave that alone.
I'm just saying. Y'all know y'all Kendrick fans think y'all the smartest people in the room.
They're not like us. Sometimes you gotta hop out. You gotta pop out and show ninjas. Come on, man. That man said I will beat your A and had the Bible of God's watching. Come on, man.
Man,
I ain't got no bite in it, but that like us, man. That's gonna and wait till these college bands get hold to that song.
and let me tell you this. Y'all was saying the same thing when that Andre 3000 flute album came out.
I didn't say that, man.
Hold on. What was everybody saying, Phil? Woo!
Ain't nobody talking about that album.
Look. They was like, woo! They're gonna be sampling this album for years to come.
Ain't nothing to
sample. I ain't heard one track yet.
No, she was trying to be nice and all that, but man, Andre 3000. Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, but I did want to play this for y'all because there's a guy that I do that I follow on TikTok. Now, I don't believe everything that he says, but he's very sciencey, and I like science stuff. And a lot of the stuff that he talks about, like I've gone back and kind of looked at it. I was like, oh, all right, well, that seems kind of legit. But I want to play the thing about the periodic table and how he kind of takes it apart. And I'm like, okay, that's crazy. So give me a second. Let me share this with you guys. All I gotta say is Phil is BBL Drizzy. Yo, have you know he did a freestyle over that, man? And I gotta play it for you when we finish. It's crazy. Okay, here we go. All right. Y'all can't even see it. Hold on. Let me add it to the. Here we go. Hey, Mayne, I got him on camera, Mayne. Got him on camera. All right. So Joe Rogan is asking him about when he was talking about rebuilding the periodic table. Now watch this.
The periodic table. What do you mean specifically?
This will not go well.
It looks like a straight box, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What's being shown here is a modified version of Walter Russell's Octaves of Matter. For those who don't know, Russell was an artist, mystic, and notably not a scientist, and he created this diagram in 1926. Now, we shouldn't dismiss ideas outright just because they originate outside of the scientific community, but this periodic table speaks for itself. The reason why Mendeleev's periodic table is used is because it enables accurate predictions of chemical behavior and even allowed the prediction of the existence of elements that were only later found to exist. Not only have the Octaves of Matter not made any useful predictions, it actually predicts the existence of elements that don't exist. And that's when it's time to throw away an organizing principle.
Same tone, same key of E, 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz.
Now on to the tone business. I've debunked his music of the elements stuff before. It's video number 65 in my debunking playlist. The long and short of it is that if you selectively choose certain parts of the emission spectra of these elements, you can find tones that match what he's saying. But those are arbitrary choices that have nothing to do with the nature of the elements themselves. The actual frequencies in the emission spectra of these elements are orders of magnitude outside the audible range. It'd be like saying near infrared is green because 1,000 nanometer light, which is near infrared, is twice 500 nanometer light, which is green. They're different things.
It's take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer.
For those who don't know, an angle of incidence is the angle formed when two lines cross. It has nothing to do with color or sound or a periodic table, despite how much you might want that to be true. Now, for the next 30 seconds or so, he continues on his acid-fueled yap session about how if you just take the frequency of light and divide it by a power of 2, you get to the audible range. Except that's not special. You can always divide any number greater than 20 by some power of a number less than 10,000 and wind up with a number that falls in the audible range. So what?
I had already seen this. This was all inside of that palace. I had access to.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about the palace. Listen, he told a story about how when he was young, he used to have these dreams and how he was taken, this guy had took him to this palace and he showed him all of these different secrets and vortices and all of these things that he saw. He claimed that he saw all of the stuff that he talks about. He said he saw all of that stuff in that palace in his dream, and he had access. he could go back to that palace at any time. Anytime he wanted to, he can go back to that palace and get information for the stuff that he needed. So I forgot to mention the palace, but yeah, there was a palace that he could go to. I'm sorry. Let me finish this.
To it.
This sounds like the kind of stuff that people seek help for.
You'll see there's a relationship between hydrogen, carbon, silicon, cobalt, rhodium. They're all bonded. They're all sit as a middle point between two noble gases.
Are they really the middle point? Hydrogen is the first element. How is it the middle of anything? But yes, besides that, he's definitely observed something. It's not new, but okay.
So those things don't really exist. It's only one substance.
Well, that's a big claim that needs substantiation. In what way are they all the same? They have different chemical properties, different masses, different abundances in the universe. Sure, all atoms are made of the same stuff, protons, neutrons, and electrons, but that doesn't make all atoms the same. Chemically, we say that they're different things because in all chemical processes, these distinctly behaving atoms can't change into one another. On the other hand, if you're committed to saying that they're the same thing because they're made out of the same things, well, then every element is the same thing. Under neither view, do you get just that some elements are the same as others.
Now, the problem is the first thing that we're able to perceive is hydrogen. That's the first visible element because before it is too dense for us to perceive it.
Hydrogen is the first element for the same reason 1 is the first whole number. The elements are sorted by the number of protons present in the atomic nucleus, and hydrogen has 1. If you had no protons, it wouldn't be an element, as it wouldn't be an atom. It'd be something else and be composed of something else. For that reason, it would be unreasonable to put it on a table where everything else is made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And by the way, atomic theory isn't a theory in the everyday sense. We can see individual atoms now. They are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. This is a fact, no question about it.
The carbon octave, and they call that a bisexual tone because the carbon has two tones to it. It has a negative side and a positive side.
Only
I'm saying, man, brother, just hey, listen, man.
And they call it a bisexual.
Hey, man, listen, man. Hey,
what are we talking about, people?
hey, man.
What?
You're not you still in the dark, Mike.
I guess I just need to wake up.
He's enlightened, brother. But he's not the I'm telling you, Mike, he's not the only one. That's how a lot of these celebrities talk, man. They talk like that.
Okay, all right, hold on.
where everything else is made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And by the way, atomic theory isn't a theory in the everyday sense. We can see individual atoms now. They are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. This is a fact, no question about it.
The carbon octave, and they call that a bisexual tone because the carbon has two tones to it. It has a negative side and a positive side.
Only weirdos sexualize elements. By the way, the negative versus positive thing is giving misogyny.
Fluorine and lithium naturally mate. If you have lithium bonded with any other element, the moment that fluorine is introduced, it will break all bonds violently so it can bond with fluorine.
Funnily enough, this isn't special to lithium. Fluorine will basically react with anything and will react violently with any of the alkali metals. And the fact that I can say that highlights how useful Mendeleev's periodic table is. I can just make statements like that just by looking at the columns the elements are in. What actual predictions does your periodic table make that Mendeleev's doesn't? Terry, your periodic table isn't useful. Go back to acting.
And when you say rebuild the periodic table, what do you mean?
That's just a small sample.
Amen.
It's a small sample of the stuff that he was saying. And I mean, and he was everywhere. And some of it was hard to follow because, and I will agree. And again, I'm not that science dude. I'm not that math dude. As a matter of fact, I always believed that anything after algebra was useless. Unless you're going into a field like architecture and carpentry where you need like those type of calculations and stuff like that. But can we be honest? When was the last time anyone had a heated discussion about acute or obtuse angles?
Man, listen. As long as you can add, subtract, and do a little multiplying, you're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right. That's all I'm saying. But again, I'm not that guy. So the stuff that he was talking, I was just like, all right. But
I'd say this, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it, but more power to him. I just leave it like that.
Listen. I didn't understand a lot of it. A lot of it, and I will say this also, a lot of it didn't make sense to me, not because I didn't understand it, but because a lot of it was gibberish. Again, I'm not the smartest guy, but I know some stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff when I'm listening to it, it was word salad. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. and he was just putting stuff together. Like what he was doing was the equivalent of making a salad, literally, because he was taking.
There's a little ego thing too, Mike. When you come across egotistical people that think that they're so smart, they would say stuff and they saying it like you're believing it, and if you don't believe it, that's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So it's an ego thing also with them.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that there is some validity to some of the stuff that he was saying.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'll never just totally dismiss it. And because I would be foolish to think that, hey, if this guy's onto something that could better the world or could make the world better or make it better for people, then hey, I'm all for it. But at the same time, what I will not do is just take everything that someone says at face value.
No, you don't supposed to.
There was a woman in one of the chats that I was in when we were talking about it. She was like, the fact that Terrance Howard said it was enough for me.
What?
Well, then you just proved everything that's wrong with the world.
Wait, she said the fact that he said it?
And just because Terrance Howard said it, it was proof it was good enough for her. Just because he said it.
That's that.
And it was like, and of course, everybody was trying to pull the race card. Well, it's just because he's black. If this was a white guy saying this, nobody would say anything. And I'm like, no,
they said the white folks sound kind of weird too. I mean, race ain't got nothing to do with it.
A lot of people say Einstein wasn't that smart.
Yeah,
they'll tell you that in a minute. So it's not like it's not
a race thing. If you sound weird, you just sound weird. But I'm not gonna knock you. But it ain't my cup of tea.
It's not my thing. So it's just you got to be careful though, people. And that's really what I wanted to kind of bring out of this is like
be informed, not influenced.
You have to be able to think for yourself, right? It's just like movie critics. I used to love when Roger Ebert was alive, because I love movies. And one of the things I would always do every Friday when I would buy a newspaper, I would love to get the Weekend Plus because I knew Roger Ebert would have this big section and he was reviewing the movies, right?
You ever watch At the Movies with him and Gene Siskel?
I loved At the Movies with him and Gene Siskel. And there were times when he would review a movie, and most of the times I looked at his reviews because he often had some similar tastes that I had, right? But there were a lot of movies that he reviewed that he didn't like, and I went to see him and was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I enjoyed that movie." So what am I saying? You can't just take everything somebody says at face value.
Not at all.
You have to be able to make a decision and make choices for yourself. You also have to be willing to do the research on what it is somebody is talking about.
You better.
Why are we so content with just accepting what a celebrity says just because they said it? And another thing is he lied about his credentials. He said he had a PhD from I forget what school he said he had it from. And they was like, no, he doesn't have a PhD with us. He has an honorary doctorate, but he doesn't have an actual PhD. So a lot of the people in that field are not even listening to him because he don't even have the credentials.
No.
And you can say it don't matter, but when you're dealing with stuff like that, yeah, it does.
A lot of folks that's really actually dealing with it and really actually know about it, they laugh at this stuff and they're actually calling it rhetoric. That's what they're doing.
And then because people was like Neil deGrasse Tyson did him wrong, and why he didn't listen to him. Maybe because the stuff he was saying wasn't right.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that Neil deGrasse Tyson is the end all be all when it comes to science, because he's just an astrophysicist. He doesn't know everything. And
but some of the stuff, he knows something though, Mike.
He knows something. Even the stuff that Neil be saying, I just be like, what? What are you talking about? So we have to be critical thinkers in everything. It's nothing wrong with asking questions. There's nothing wrong with being inquisitive. There's nothing wrong with saying why. Now, the challenge is when you ask those questions, and if you come up with an answer or a theory, you have to have some type of proof. Like, you can't just say, well, this is what irked me about that woman, and I told my sister this the other day. Isn't he an astrophysicist? I think he is. What is Neil deGrasse Tyson? What is he?
Who? And no,
I mean, okay, I didn't mean it like he's just an astrophysicist. I understand that's a big thing. I'm just saying that in terms of science, he's just in that one field of science. Not to say
he's not going to take Terrance Howard serious though.
Not to downplay that he's an astrophysicist, but he does study like one particular field of science, right? That's what I meant.
He's not going to take him serious.
But when you have people like this lady that says just because Terrance Howard said it, that's enough for me, that bothers me. Because it's like that means that, and I think I was joking with my sister with this yesterday. I'm like, so if Terrance Howard got up and went on video and said, listen, you know, these things is growing out of the ground, these things, those they call them trees. Those aren't trees. Those are penises. Those are penises growing out of the ground.
Come on, relax, Mike. Come on, man.
No, Phil. Science had it wrong. Those are penises growing in your backyard.
Mike, chill, relax.
Go and trim your penis in the backyard.
Mike, relax. Relax, Mike.
But that's what
this ninja right here, man. Oh my God. He was doing so good. He was.
Go trim your penis.
This nigga said, go trim your penises in the yard. Ooh, they ain't gonna invite us nowhere. They ain't gonna invite us nowhere. We already don't get invited nowhere. This is gonna make it worse, man. They don't like us.
Hello, yeah. Listen, I got this penis growing in my
backyard. Stop, Mike.
Down.
Mike, stop. Man.
It keeps knocking up against my cable.
Yep.
It keeps knocking up against my cable line.
I just asked y'all to please continue to support us. Y'all all we got. Just continue to support us.
But science had it wrong. And this is what I'm saying. Science had it wrong. This is the world that we live in. That just because somebody say it, it must be true. With no recourse, no proof, no verification. It's just because they said it. And then people say it's because you haven't awakened and your third eye is blind.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I don't think that's that third eye thing. When I was younger, though, Mike, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was younger, I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, my third eye, and I'm so enlightened. And I kind of realized, man, I'm sitting around a bunch of dudes, and this back when I was younger, we just sitting around getting high, just rambling, smoking weed and rambling, and more and more we get high, the more philosophical we get.
Mm-hmm. That's how it is. So I'm just all I'm saying is that I'm not dismissing anything that I'm dismissing some of the stuff that he says, but I'm not going to totally dismiss some of the stuff he said. Not going to because some of it was very interesting. And if you haven't watched it, if you have time, I will encourage you to go and watch it. You may find it very interesting, and it may provoke you to look up other things. All right. All I'm just saying is that let's not be so easy to convince.
Do your own knowledge, people. That's what it comes down to. Do your own research. Do your own research so you can know if something is truth or not.
do your own research. And if you don't do anything else this weekend, make sure you trim the penises in your backyard. Because I'm just saying,
Mike, man,
you gotta listen. You don't want your penis leaning over your neighbor's fence.
We trying to do this show, Mike.
You don't want it leaning over your neighbor's fence because they may get offended. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to save us to do this live, Mike.
And then they cut it, and now you mad.
Oh my God, he said they cut it. Mike, pause, relax, man.
You better hope your neighbor ain't Lorena Bobby because it's over. Let's see. Delzy said, I've just come to the conclusion that my common sense is what gives me solid. I swear it is.
Yep.
And people just don't have common sense anymore.
But and my father said it all the time. He said, you can be the smartest person in the world.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got a lick of common sense, you the dumbest person in the world. Because sometimes all you need is common sense.
It's a dangerous place, man.
Yeah.
Place. Listen, before we go, I just want to say this, and I know we didn't do this with any fanfare, but we hit our 7-year anniversary this month.
Yeah.
And when we first started this thing, there was a lot of people who shall remain nameless, who was like, I mean, why y'all doing it? Because there's so many podcasts out there.
It ain't gonna last.
It ain't gonna last. I mean,
they don't have the commitment. They're not gonna be dedicated to it.
There's no commitment. You're not gonna be dedicated.
Heard all y'all.
Consistency is the key. You got to be consistent.
Heard all
I was
that.
like, all right. And yet here we are, 7 years later.
You're
still doing it. We
started while a lot of people then came and went and tried to come back and win again. Man, I'm still here.
We still here, and we went from just doing the audio stuff and our audio grew and grew and grew. And then we eventually graduated to now doing the live stream, and you guys have been along for the ride. And like for real, I just want to say thank you, because had it not been for God and for you guys, we really would not even be doing this thing. So when you hear me say, listen, I appreciate every like.
We mean that.
Every click.
We mean that.
Every share. Every download. Whatever it is that you do to support this podcast, I really, really do appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Because you really can't be spending your time with anywhere else doing anything
else.
On
a Friday night.
Instead of sitting up here listening to us.
That's the best part. On a Friday night, you can be anywhere. It's nice outside.
It's nice
and
out.
You sitting here with us. So
yeah,
that's love.
I don't take it lightly. And whether you hang out with us live or you go back and watch it, man, I appreciate y'all, like for real. And I believe that what we're doing is just building a foundation of some greater things to come. And if you guys continue to support us and continue to rock with us, then we're gonna try this thing till the wheels fall off. And we're gonna try to do it for another 7 years or until the next thing come up. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you for the 7 years. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all, like for real. So
nice.
And that's pretty much it, man. Anything?
I don't get to say nothing.
I just said anything before we go, Phil.
I'm glad that you said what you said. And I I ride with you on all that. But I'm gonna talk this talk real quick. 7 years. Folks was telling us it wasn't gonna last. Folks was telling us to stop doing it. Folks was telling us that we didn't have the dedication and the consistency to do this. 7 years. 7 years. It was times when we didn't think that wasn't nobody gonna pay us attention, but we still stayed dedicated to it. 7 years later. Trust me, y'all don't know the struggle that me and this dude went through trying to do this. Y'all don't realize thinking that, is it worth it? When you doing it, when we first start doing videos, you looking in the chat, and you probably got one or two people just looking at you, the whole thing. But now we know y'all in the clouds, though. I know y'all in the clouds. But 7 years, man. And this dude right here, the mastermind of it, let me tell you something. Me and him had several conversations. So 7 years, man, y'all just don't understand how big this is to us because, man, it was many a days we really questioned ourselves on why we was doing it. But the ride I done took with this dude, I take it 7 more and then some. Brother-in-law, we did that, man.
Yeah,
we
man.
did that.
I'm proud of what we have. And
yes, sir.
We're just going to continue to build on it and just do better. And as long as you all continue to give feedback and continue to give support, we are going to just continue to put out a quality project. You know, my thing is, man, it's like can I put out 10, 12 videos, in a day? Yeah, I probably could doing some other stuff, but I don't want to oversaturate, what we do. And I like what we have. I like where we've grown and what we've grown into. And I'm comfortable where we are. Not comfortable where I don't want us to continue to grow, but I'm comfortable with where we are in terms of you can't tell us that what we're doing and you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't even refer to our podcast as our little podcast anymore. Because I used to say that a lot. I used to say, yeah, man, come in and hang out and watch our little podcast. I don't say that anymore.
Tell you something. We here. We been here. We here.
I just don't say it anymore. So again, appreciate you all. I love you all, and that's pretty much it, man. It's 7 years. Man. Yeah, it's 7 years strong, and we trying to do 7 more. So
can't
look,
stop. I can't do that no more.
No,
we can't do that no more. Can't do that no more. Can't do that no more. Can't do that.
I can't do that no more.
No, we can't do that no more.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Can't do that no more. You can still, you just do it, but don't do words.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. Listen, that is it for us. It's the weekend, man.
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day week. That's right. So I don't know if y'all got any plans for Memorial Day, but if you do, listen, get you some ribs and some chicken. If you're a vegan, get you some mushrooms and some whatever it is y'all vegans eat. And
I ain't need no more barbecue to the 4th, Mike. I'm serious. I ain't need no more ribs to the 4th. That's it.
All right. Well, don't eat ribs. I mean, just
nothing off the grill.
Just get the grilling. Yeah. Get the grilling, man.
No, I ain't need no. I'm not eating nothing off the grill till the 4th. Like on Father's Day, folks gonna think they slick, and you gonna, like I said, I've been switching. Me and my brother Ricky been switching it up. We've been having fish fries, all type of stuff on Father's Day now. I'm just no.
Yeah. So that's it for us. Listen, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And if the Lord say the same, we will be back here next week, same time, same channel. So until we talk again, my friends, y'all get 2 fingers to the side. Make sure you holler at your boys because we officially out.
Peace.